I'm Tom Kineshanko. I've done 3 investment vehicles in cryptocurrencies, and before that founded tech companies for about 12 years. First investment vehicle in 2013 was just a Bitcoin buy and hold vehicle that actually came about because we couldn't figure out the right product to build on the Bitcoin blockchain, but we had a lot of people asking us how to buy Bitcoin, and so we set up a vehicle that made it really easy for people to do that. That vehicle bought into the Ethereum ICO, and the success of that led us to set up in actually the first licensed fund management company in Canada for cryptocurrencies, First Block, and more recently we set up Protos.
Yeah, so my background is in finance. I've been involved in finance for actually over 30 years, and I've always been really interested in early stage markets. I helped develop capital markets in actually the Soviet Union and then Russia, and I've been involved in early stage markets in emerging markets and in renewables, and I got involved with Tom back in 2013 where I was a founder and investor in this vehicle he mentioned, and yeah, I think my background in structured products and navigating these early illiquid markets as they mature is quite analogous to what we're going to see now, and really this is the kind of strategies which we want to deploy with Protos, helping investors access crypto, but also navigating the market as it matures into a real investable asset class.
So we believe that everybody in the world should have exposure to blockchain assets. We think there's going to be multiple blockchains worth trillions of dollars, and as these open source protocols grow and the blockchain assets that are a part of them become very valuable, we want everybody in the world to share in that wealth creation. The issue with some traditional funds is that they're typically geographically limited. They often have large lockup periods, large minimums and things like that, and we set out to solve some of those problems. So what we believe we've created is the best global on-ramp into cryptocurrencies. People can buy our tradable token, and they get a full-time proven team of people managing a well-diversified and well-managed portfolio of blockchain assets. And it's also practicing what we preach. We're raising money for our fund by selling a token which represents, it shows our belief in the technologies that we're investing in. By exposure to our fund by purchasing our tradable cryptographic token. That gives them a tradable instrument which they can freely sell. And it also gives them exposure to what the fund is up to. So if the fund generates returns, then we return those gains back to the token holders. So it's basically 2 ways that people in the fund make money. We also have same day, or we're working towards, once we're live, we'll shortly have same day reporting of our portfolio. So people can follow our investments into new companies, but they can also follow the trading that we're doing, and they can verify that we actually do have the assets under management that we say we have. You also, with a tokenized fund, get the ability, once the token is trading, for people around the world in many more jurisdictions than you normally would with a traditional fund to buy into the fund. And that really connects to what we're trying to do with this. It gives people around the world an opportunity to get exposure.
We believe that the market would evolve into a mature state where systematic data-driven strategies will outperform simple buy and hold strategies, which have been quite successful to date. So we think that this is an interesting on-ramp to get into these types of advanced trading strategies, which would be difficult to replicate as an individual investor. Behind these data-driven strategies, we will be building our own data sets, proprietary data sets, which will inform these strategies. So again, we think this is a unique attribute of our fund.
Protos as a hedge fund is a team of proven crypto investors and traders managing our investors' money. And it is a legal structure, so you could contrast it to something like, say, the DAO, which is a decentralized type of fund on the internet. But so it is a well-governed legal structure with a team of people with a lot of experience investing in and trading crypto. And the strategy that we'll be employing is to invest initially, and this percentage might change, but initially 35% of the assets under management into new protocol tokens at a very, very early stage, and 65% will be actively managed. So using different trading strategies, I'll let Matthew talk about that. So within that 35%, what are we investing in? So we previously invested in 3 out of the top 5 market cap tokens at a very, very early stage, and that was Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin. Ethereum at the ICO, Litecoin at a very low price, about $2.80, and Bitcoin in the $100 range. We chose those assets because we really believed that the projects were foundational infrastructure in the market, and that is our focus for our early stage investing. We believe that the market is at the stage where the infrastructural layers are being put down. So maybe to use an internet analogy, maybe it's 1998 or 1999. And when those big pieces of infrastructure are built and are successful and are strong, then other applications can be built on top of them. So we'll be looking to invest in, just like a good venture capitalist would, very good, very technical teams at a very early stage, typically investing at a valuation below 20 million, ideally even earlier, into projects that are pursuing projects that will form the fundamental infrastructure of the market to come and on which everything else will be built. One of the key things for us is we do believe we can pick good projects, so we're much more focused on picking quality projects over just picking a whole bunch of different projects. We're not very interested in a spray and pray approach, and we're really looking for great teams and great projects, and so we won't be making likely any more than 1 investment per month at the most.
Yeah, just coming to the active part of the portfolio. So 65% of the portfolio will be invested in the most liquid cryptocurrencies. And for this 65%, we're going to deploy an active management strategy. This will be a data-driven approach. We'll be building our own data sets and using various analytical tools, including natural language processing and so forth. Essentially, the objective of this 65% is to risk manage the most liquid strategies in a way which will prove a better tool than a simple buy and hold approach. We actually believe that the market is maturing very rapidly, and these advanced trading techniques which have been successfully used in other markets, for instance, and I'm thinking here of arbitrage, in particular trend following, and other strategies which take advantage of short-term movements in prices. We believe that this strategy will be applicable also to the cryptocurrency markets, which have been very successfully deployed in other markets. As an example, trend following, I believe more than $320 billion is now deployed in this strategy, and trend following in the past has significantly outperformed other markets in downturns, for instance. So in 2008, trend following strategies were generally strongly positive as opposed to the S&P equity index being very negative. So the objective with the 65% is to deploy these strategies in liquid markets to produce a better risk-adjusted return for investors.
One thing to maybe add to that is the idea of just the very active management of a portfolio. So the crypto markets are becoming quite complex. There's a lot of different events occurring. There's forks, there's security issues to manage. And one of the things that we will be focused on is ensuring that we're on top of course, any events that occur, whether that's a fork or that's different major changes in the market. One thing that we as a fund can do that large holders of crypto may not be able to do as individuals is quickly move from large crypto positions to fiat positions. So for example, we can move from Bitcoin to cash and take advantage of moving back into Bitcoin, whereas some people might not be able to exit large positions in the market, say more than $1 million, when there are major sort of negative events occurring. The Protos Founders have a diverse background in selecting early stage crypto blockchain assets to invest in, founding and scaling and exiting technology companies, managing investment funds, and in your case, a bank, And the Protos advisors match that same mix. We've got technologists like Fabian Vogelstetter, who is the co-author of the ERC20 token with Vitalik, ranging to Jules Green, who founded a very large asset management company in a more traditional finance capacity. I guess the track record falls into kind of three buckets. One is the crypto investing. And we, as I mentioned before, we selected 3 out of the top 5 market cap tokens at a very, very early stage. And we managed to hold on to those investments and make some great returns. The other bucket would be founding technology companies. So each person on the team has founded and exited a technology company. And Matthew, your case, I guess a bank would be I'll let you speak to that. But for example, Mark Vander Chies, one of our co-founders, founded the YouTube of China effectively and IPO'd it on the NASDAQ for $880 million. Philip Kalaroff, our PhD hedge fund quant co-founder, was also the founder of an alternative credit scoring company, which he sold to a bank in Florida. So there's kind of an experience in what it takes to found and build a technology company, and many, many years of suffering and experience and learning doing that. And then I guess the last bucket is the traditional finance bucket. I was involved in the first ever publicly traded angel investment fund. I've been working in sort of fintech markets and have been obviously investing in crypto for a while, but maybe I'll let you speak to the traditional finance bucket.
Yeah, I think the traditional finance side is very complementary in the sense of you can see a market like the cryptocurrency market developing in the same way as other early stage markets have developed. My own background was in early stage markets such as the development of capital markets in the Soviet Union and Russia, the early development of carbon markets, and I think these are useful skills of the team. My own background also, I founded a specialist emerging market investment bank, which we exited through a successful sale. One of the advisors, Jules Green, was one of the founders of what became the world's largest emerging markets fund management company, with in excess of $50 billion assets under management. Jules was the senior portfolio manager and responsible on a day-to-day basis for managing a $30 billion portfolio of emerging market assets, and he is giving us invaluable advice in terms of putting in place procedures and best practice in terms of running a fund. So I think this marriage of traditional finance, but where we've got a track record of innovation in finance plus crypto, is a pretty good one.
We actually won't be investing in any companies. We will be investing in blockchain assets which represent a stake in open source protocols. And there's some fundamental differences with that I think a lot of people watching this will understand. But we invest in blockchain assets which are units of ownership or trade or offer other characteristics within these open source protocols. And we believe that as blockchain technology grows, a value will accrue to those blockchain assets and not to, for example, the equity in a corporation. As I said before, we're definitely focused on quality over quantity, and we are focused on protocols that form the infrastructure layer of what's to come. We believe that decentralized beats centralized. We're looking for highly technical teams. We're looking to get in at an early stage, and we're looking to invest in things where we can actually make an impact and actually help the companies become successful. And our experience building technology companies will allow us to, I think, really help teams. In terms of how we get access to pipeline, a lot of it is through relationships with other entrepreneurs and investors in this market. I've been investing for a long, long time, since well before the Ethereum ICO. And the people we've co-invested with, the founders that we've worked with, the founders that have worked with us, are our access point to really good projects. For example, 2 projects that we really like right now. One is building an open source knowledge reward protocol. So anywhere in the world where there's knowledge being created or data being requested and produced, there can be an incentive layer built into that. There's some serious technical challenges in terms of how do you create a reward system for research that can operate in a fully decentralized way that is also secure? Another specific example would be a lot of tokens will be considered securities. And so there will be regulated exchanges which trade those tokens which could be construed as which will be construed as securities. There's a particularly interesting project being put together there, which will be tokenized, that we are interested in investing in as well.
In fact, this would be an ideal question for our colleague and co-founder, Philip Kallerhoff, who's in Zurich. So I'm not available right now to answer the question. But what I can say is that we will have a data-driven approach to this 65% active trading strategy. This portion of the portfolio will be investing in the most liquid, actively traded cryptocurrencies, and we'll be using quant strategies which have been successful in other markets. So, in particular, trend following, which is a huge strategy in other markets in excess of $320 billion. Using this strategy, it's a strategy which is particularly successful in protecting against downside in bad markets. In equity markets, for instance, it significantly outperformed other strategies in 2008, for instance. We'll also be using arbitrage strategies and other strategies taking advantage of short-term price movements. So I think essentially an active risk-managed trading strategy which we believe over time will outperform a simple buy and hold beta strategy. In fact, really, the volatility is an opportunity for any hedge fund, and our active management strategies will be designed in part to capture these opportunities. So I think that the market will be the fund will be set up to take advantage of these short-term market movements, and volatility is a trader's friend in a way, and we'll be looking to actively trade those markets when there is volatility.
Custodianship, or securing blockchain assets, is one of the most important things that we think about, and it's a pillar of everything that we're doing and everything that we think about every day. So we've been securing crypto since 2013. For example, in our first investment vehicle, we took private keys off the internet, split them in two, and stored them in two separate banks, which is kind of ironic. And then we had separate individuals which needed to come together to access those separate keys, put them together in order for a trade to happen. We've been watching this space evolve for a long, long time. Just at a high level, for the major blockchain assets we'll be storing, we'll be using some of the best-in-class custodians in the world. And many high-quality custodians have come online in the last couple of years. Zappo is a great example of somebody whose security we trust. For the more minor or the new blockchain assets, we have created a custom cold storage solution which involves the separation of keys into different locations and requires multiple individuals to come together to put stuff on the internet. That does, in some cases, slow down trading, but it greatly increases security. And there's always going to be a trade-off to be made in that. As custodianship and security evolves over time, it's something we're, like I said, thinking about every day, and we have some of the best advisors in the world helping us, in addition to our own expertise. For example, one of our securities advisors is also the security advisor to a well-known project in the space, Ripple. So yeah, it's something that we'll continue to evolve with as this space evolves. So we got a lot of questions, and we really appreciate the thoughtfulness and everything that you guys submitted. We couldn't answer everything. We tried to pick the ones that we thought would be the most important to provide more detail on. We look forward to talking on the internet, so ask us any other questions. Telegram is the best place. We'll answer every single question, and we're the founders of Protos, are as active as we can be in Telegram. So please ask your questions there, and we'll provide answers. And thank you.